Okay, there are some things you should watch out for in the Philippines. There are. But before I do that, let me try to list one or two more things about how you can get help here in the Philippines or respect. How they respect you here, how they treat you. And it's great. So, over 3 trips here, and the third trip staying here, living here, everywhere I go, typically, if you need to cross a road and there's a guard or policeman around, they'll stop the traffic. They'll slow the traffic down. I'm not saying every place. It can be dangerous to cross the road here because there's really, this is one of the things that you need to watch out for. There are really no organized rules that I can figure out here in the Philippines for driving. People just flow. Not in a lot of places there's no stop signs. Some places there's stop signs. A lot of places there's no stop lights, no green lights. People actually drive down the wrong side of the road. That can happen to get near the sidewalk to drop somebody off, a motorcycle or a trike or a car. So that is something to be aware of. And you need to decide whether you want to drive. I decided I don't want to drive in this environment for a couple of reasons. One is that's a little too uncertain for me. There are dogs on the road that can be. There's a lot of different types of vehicles on the road, slow and somewhat fast. But it's faster in the big cities. It's slower in the smaller communities. But there's a lot of traffic pretty much everywhere. And it's an alive culture. They're out on their mini bikes. They're not very powerful bikes, but they're out on their mini bikes. There's 4 or 5 of them on 1-minute motorcycle driving down the street, or there's, just hundreds and hundreds of motorcycles driving by. So you got to watch out for how they drive here. It's different. But what I found is nice in different cities in Samar or Luzon or the Visayas. If I need to get across the street and there's police there and they're standing out there for that reason. They're going to try to stop the traffic and get you across the street. They did it to me today, and there were other Filipinos around. They didn't just do it for me. I'm walking to a mall and I'm going to cross a highway, and they stand there and they stand out in the middle of the road, and that's another nice thing they can do for you some places. Another thing is it's possible to get a discount on your living arrangement. Like if you're renting, I got a 10% or higher discount because I paid 2 months in advance. So it took some money off the monthly total, and I appreciate that. Another thing you need to look out for here is you get into certain places and it's not Grab. Grab is like Uber. Like you can have an app on your phone where you get a Grab and it tells you how much it's going to cost. So you can decide whether you want to do that for that length of trip. So a lot of the cities have Grab, but where I'm living, they don't have Grab. I have to go down into the city in General Santos and get a Grab. I can judge the price and decide if I want it. I like the prices of Grab. I prefer them over what's considered a taxi, because just like the other night, I needed to go about 1 kilometer away and somebody wanted to charge me 400 pesos. And I said 200, which is still high for a mile, a little over a mile. I didn't want to walk. It was late at night. Perhaps it was raining. I had bags of clothing or whatever, and I was willing to pay a couple bucks. That's all it is to go down the street, mile and a half. But another guy said 150. I said I'll pay you 2. So if you take, that was a taxi. And I've been in places where it's been doubled or tripled, and I didn't realize what was happening. All right, so you've got to find out what the price is first, and you tell them yes or no. Because the guy that here in General Santos has said 400 pesos, I said 200. He got upset and walked away, and I'm cool with that. He just, had an attitude, and he wasn't gracious. Because that's what they can do here, because they're taxis. They're trying to make a living. That's okay. I'm okay for somebody pricing things high. That's how you make money. All right, but I didn't want to pay that. I knew I could do better and still get a quality ride. And a guy named Greg, very nice older man, very happy guy. we had a terrific time trying to find the hotel. We found it, pretty quick. So that's another thing you need to look out for. And I got taken a couple of times in the thousands of peso range in Luzon. It can happen to you anywhere. Those are the taxis, so you have to ask taxis because you can't pre-price a taxi online. You have to say, I need to go here, show them how much, and they'll tell you, and you go, okay. And one time I was in a mountainous, cool city in La Trinidad, and I was actually in Baguio in the Luzon province or region, and this is about pricing, right, of driving. And what happened was it was a new Grab driver, and so they do have a meter, and it had an estimate, a pretty solid estimate of how much it would cost to go from Baguio Mall to our place in La Trinidad on a mountain hotel, mountain house. And it should have been 15-20 minutes, but we got half hour into it, an hour into it. He kept missing the roads. I couldn't communicate with him because our language wasn't there. And I realized this guy doesn't know what he's doing. And when I looked at my phone, Grab sent me a warning. Do you want us to call the police? We notice you're way off track. And so when we got done with the ride, I kept my cool. I didn't complain. I just said, somebody needs to help him find this place. We went all around La Trinidad. We should have went right from Baguio through a little mountain range valley right to our place, but he went way down around. We saw all of La Trinidad, and it was making me nervous because he was driving herky-jerky. Some of the drivers here, gas brake, gas brake, gas brake, and it jerks you around the whole time. So you can imagine about an hour and a half of that, I'm ready to puke. So he said like 400 pesos, but it was originally like one something. I said 200, and I showed him the phone. I said, look, even Grab's warning me. I said something went wrong. I didn't blame him. I didn't say you did wrong. I said something went wrong. We should have been here a long time ago. And he accepted that. I gave him the 200 pesos. We were done. But he was a brand new driver. You could see that on the app. He was just there that month. But he should have known better. And it was senseless. And I kept my cool, but I told him, I can't pay that. I've done this many times. It's about 200 pesos, 195, 175. So there are things you got to look out for. But look, it's not a lot of money. 200 extra pesos is not a lot of money. And I'm not sure what else you need to look out for here, but other than the dating scene, I mean, it is tricky to me. It is very tricky because not everybody has your best interest in mind. It's okay to do what's good for you. So you need to be very careful with who you get into a relation, with whom you get into a relationship. It can be very difficult, and you've got have to have a lot going for you personally. I'm not talking financially. You have to have a lot of good character to deal with it. So you got to watch yourself, and you got to look at other people and see whether they're a good fit for you, personality-wise, character-wise. So that's another one that's huge. There was a post today on Facebook on one of the expat forums. Hi, I'm in Mindanao at a certain region. I haven't had any luck with the women. I'm 70 years old. I smoke. Don't give me any homophobic comments. Don't talk about me smoking. I'm just here trying to be happy. And he got a lot of bad feedback, but I told him, I can understand. I can relate to. I'm here. I'm in Mindanao too, near Jensan, for some of the same reasons. All right, and I can understand him. Because on the dating scene, it can be real difficult, real tricky. Because number one, we don't have the same hopes. Hope means expectation. We don't have the same expectations, which can be conflicting. And I don't want any conflict. I'm trying to solve conflict, and that's fine. That's what I'm trying to do. But there's ways in which you're going to like it over here. That they're going to respect you. But there are ways that you'll get taken. And you have to get over your own naivety. I mean, you can't come over here as an American, for example, or a Westerner, and plug into the society and operate. It doesn't work that way. You have to understand this place over time so you can discern and make conclusions about why people do the things that they do over here. And it's usually motives, hidden character traits that drive people to do what they're doing, and you have to be wise and you have to be harmless at the same time. So I hope that helps. But overall, I love the place because I feel respected over here. Not that I'm asking for that; it just happens. And people are generally peaceful and calm over here. They love music. They slow the music down typically, and they're friendly. I have children that near my place that come and walk by my place and say hello to me. They're bright-eyed and smiling, and maybe I am the only foreigner in the area, but they like to greet me, and I greet them back. If you say good morning to somebody, they'll certainly say it right back to you. Usually add sir, and it just feels good over here. So I hope that helps.